Good morning. This is a Grit Talk. My name is Chrissi Rawak, and I'm here to answer 7 questions. First question. What have you not done yet that you would like to be a part of your story or included in your eulogy? That's an intense question. One of the things that I think about often in my life and the choices that I've made always comes back to impact on people's lives and putting people in positions to be able to achieve and accomplish things that they never imagined. And that starts with the young people I coached early in my career to the many adults that I work with now and have the privilege of serving as the Director of Athletics and Recreation. So, with that as a backdrop, I think that what we're working through right now in the world of higher education and college athletics is certainly transformational and an incredibly exciting moment to be a part of. So I certainly hope that at the end of my time that people are able to look back and recognize that I wanted to make a difference, that I wanted to make and create the spaces and the opportunities for young people to excel, and also be able to create the moments for our communities to gather. I think that sport is a great equalizer in many ways. You look at how many people come together to cheer on one team and find those special moments, and to have the ability to create that in this next, I would say, iteration of college athletics and transform it in a way that really benefits everybody is something that I'm certainly hoping that I have the ability to be a part of and lead for the University of Delaware and for the state of Delaware as well. So how has failure or apparent failure, it would definitely be failure, not apparent failure, just to be clear, set you up for later success? Do you have a favorite failure? This is like a crazy question for me. And the reason is I embrace failure. I don't even usually use that word, to be very honest with you. I believe that mistakes or opportunities to learn and grow, I embrace the pain, and I mean that. I think the greatest lessons I've ever learned in my career and my life have been based on things that I did wrong. And so, this is a question that I actually, again, appreciated because it is so much a part of my DNA. I, again, embrace the opportunity to get better and learn. So my favorite really comes back to when I coached my first year out of college. So I was 22 years old as the assistant women's swimming coach at the University of Michigan, which now you'd think, what the heck was she doing at 22 years old? I graduated from there. So, what was obviously interesting for me was I was coaching my friends. These were people that I happened to be at the bars with the year before. And now, there's a different line, right? There's a different line that you have to create in order to be able to be effective with them and honestly be responsible. But what I really learned in those early years of coaching was the importance of team. And you may think that's odd because I was on a team. I've been on a team my whole life. I consider the work teams I'm on teams, and we think about work in those ways. But we had 40 young women. We were competing for a national championship. We had probably the most talented team in the country. And we had one individual that just didn't quite align with our beliefs and our values and the things that really mattered to us. And, at the time I was an assistant coach, so you don't have a lot of power. You have some influence, but you can't make choices. And our head coach at the time just honestly allowed it to happen. And the impact that one individual had over the 39 other people was insane, to be honest with you. It was quite crazy. And I remember sitting there at 23 going, how is this possible? How can one person have an impact like that on a team of 39 people? But it happened. And it was in that moment where I made the commitment to make sure that whenever there was any misalignment with people, that I was not going to allow that to happen. I was going to do everything I could as a leader to ensure that didn't happen. Not easy, right? And I think that's what I learned later as the person sitting in the chair, having to make those choices and have those hard conversations, is it's not easy. It's not easy, but what I also know is that my responsibility is to all of the people that I lead, my entire team. And oftentimes when I'm having conversations with the individual that may be struggling a little bit, it's a relief to them. It's a relief to them to be able to have that conversation, and there's usually always more to the story. So, again, it's about everybody needs to be rowing in the same direction. That doesn't mean everybody's drinking the same Kool-Aid all the time. I love healthy debate, but you certainly need to ensure that you have values alignment and goals alignment if you're going to really achieve what you ultimately are capable of achieving. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life? This is like a really big question again, and I should share the reason why I'm qualifying the big questions is my children are now all out of the house. We dropped off our last one. She's at all of them at Delaware. Go Hens. And so we are empty nesters. So my husband and I are sitting looking at each other like, now what? In many ways. So lots of reflection is going on in the Rawak Hill household right now. And so these questions came at a really interesting time for us. But I think that one of the things is the difference between content and happy, right? We always hear are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? And one of the podcasts I just listened to was talking about, how about just being content? Like, that's okay too. Like, there's a lot in that, right? And I think that particularly in this last year, as we've thought about and recognized what this change is going to be in our lives, we've talked a lot about, being content and being satisfied and being appreciative of what we have and what we've accomplished together in our lives. So I think it's I'm going to live in the content world that has happy in it, but I'm going to be really content as I live in my life. What activities make you lose track of time? Going through my email. Not kidding. I'm sure many of you in this room have lots and lots of emails, so that's one thing. But the more fun answer is I love rom-coms, romantic comedies. So I will watch those and lose track of time. I don't have a lot of time, particularly during the school year, because our teams are competing, and I'm watching them compete as much as I can. But certainly when I'm watching rom-coms or Marvel movies, that's the other one. So, what book do you most often give or recommend, and how has that book influenced you? So believe it or not, I'm not a big reader. I'm a podcaster. I like listening to podcasts on my drive or on weekends, on walks. I go with my husband on walks. And the podcast that I believe has been most influential to me is Rethinking by Adam Grant. And the reason I appreciate his perspective, first of all, he brings lots and lots of really remarkable people on his podcasts. It's about organizational psychology, organizational design, culture, leadership. I'm a believer that you can have the greatest strategy, you can have the best resources, but if you don't have your culture right, it doesn't matter. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. That's not my quote and my original. Somebody else said it much smarter than me, Peter Drucker. But I truly believe that. And so Adam brings a lot of people on that really give you perspective, and they bring you perspective in lots of different ways. Like he had a film writer on recently. He has Malcolm Gladwell on. And so, the different genres, the different people that are coming with different perspectives about culture and people. And I appreciate too how he questions his own perspectives, and he adjusts as our world has evolved. So certainly one of the more interesting podcasts that I've listened to. What have you purchased or been given in the last year valued under $200 that has most positively impacted your life? So I don't know how many of you know, you probably don't. We partnered with the state, and you can now purchase Delaware Blue Hen license plates. I got one out there. And I have to tell you, first of all, maybe it won't surprise you, it took us 2 years to get it done. So part of the joy is, and I'm a bit relentless, so part of the joy is we got it done, check. But I love, it's got our hen head on it, it's got Delaware Blue Hens on it, it's our colors. And I love walking out and seeing our student athletes see it, smiling, pointing it at it. I love driving down the highway, people honking, giving me a thumbs up. So that doesn't just bring me joy, it actually brings others joy when they see it. And it's, again, it's a moment of pride. I mean, there's so much pride, so many people that are proud to be Blue Hens and to be able to, represent it with a license plate. Again, I know that sounds a little silly, but it's certainly something that has brought me a lot of joy and makes me happy. If you could broadcast a message to everyone in the world, again, knowing it would be received and remembered, what would it be? Be kind. Everybody has a story, right? I think that we oftentimes quick to assume, quick to judge. It's human nature to do that. So I even say that not in judgment. I check myself all the time. But oftentimes I say, okay, there's something else here. What's the story? And just really work hard to just be kind.